Thank you very much, Ms. Vargas. Let me say for the record, what is already part of the record, but I want to say it publicly, that these three nominees, like the one before them, have all been found to be unanimously well qualified by the American Bar Association. That involves, as I mentioned earlier, interviewing a number of people, professional and otherwise, to comment either confidentially or for the record on the person's background and their temperament and their ability to serve in this capacity. A unanimous, well-qualified finding is the highest it comes, and I wanted to make that part of the record. So, Judge Pinnell, there's this part of your life where you were dealing with drug entry court. I have seen those courts used successfully in Illinois, in Chicago and Cook County, dealing with veterans and people with special disability situations. What was your experience?
Thank you, Senator, and thank you for the question. Drug courts are exceedingly important for public safety. My experience with drug court was in the federal context, where we had a reentry court for individuals leaving federal prison. We, in my part of the state, do not have a reentry center, a federal reentry center, so folks would come out of federal prison straight to the streets. But for folks with a substance abuse disorder, they could come into our step-down program, we call it the STEP program, drug court program, if they had a substance abuse disorder where they had more intensive supervision. We had a team made up of public defender, U.S. attorney, probation officer, treatment provider, and a judge overseeing the program so that there was intensive supervision in the beginning with a lot of urinalysis exams, meetings with probation, and then stepping down so that the end of what at the minimum was a year program, sometimes longer than that, an individual would hopefully be fully employed or going to school. So it was a really great program. We did not have any specific dollars that were earmarked for that program. Every single member of that team just took out additional part of their time, their regular jobs, to be a part of that team to help increase public safety, help people manage addiction, and get to be back to being productive members of the community.
So what was the result?
The result, you know, I do not have the statistics in front of me, but my understanding is that recidivism was reduced. And amazingly, like I said, so many people ended up with full-time jobs at the end of the experience and really being able to contribute to the community. So it was an important public safety result and an important result for our community in terms of getting people back into work.
Thank you. Mr. Murphy and Ms. Vargas, as I look at your backgrounds, it's interesting, the contrast in a way, and I'm going to ask you to comment on it. Mr. Murphy seems to have dedicated a large part of his professional life to defense work, primarily at that table. Ms. Vargas, prosecuting has been part of your background. And the concern, obviously, from the members of the committee, as has been expressed over and over again, is can you see the other side of the story? Will you treat the prosecutor, in your case, Mr. Murphy, with the same level of respect and professional courtesy that you would want for yourself? Ms. Vargas, can you put yourself in the shoes of a defendant who's fighting for their rights and wondering if you as a judge are going to be fair in your verdict? I'd like to ask each of you to comment on that. Mr. Murphy first.
Thank you, Senator. Yes, I believe that I can switch from the role of an advocate to the role of a neutral arbitrator successfully. I think my experience working with people has given me a great deal of time trying cases. So I've tried many cases to a verdict in front of a jury, and understanding how the judge in each of those cases provides a forum that allows both advocates to present their case fairly and fully such that they feel like their side of the house has been heard completely by the time that case is decided by the finder of fact, be it either a judge or a jury, is something that I would seek to emulate, and I think I can make that transition from being an advocate to being a neutral arbitrator.
Ms. Vargas.
Thank you for the question, Senator. As primarily a civil AUSA who's also done civil rights, criminal prosecutions, I have litigated on both sides of the V frequently, both as plaintiff attorney and defense counsel. So that has been a large part of my experience and has given me a breadth of experience and a depth of understanding of what it means to be both a plaintiff's counsel, a prosecutor, as well as on the defense side. But more importantly, as AUSA as a government attorney, we are advocates, but we are also we take an oath to uphold the Constitution. We're government attorneys. We have that higher obligation to the rule of law. That's part of the reason that I've enjoyed my job so much, was that aspect of it. And if I were so lucky to be confirmed, I would look forward to taking on a role where fidelity to the rule of law would be my paramount consideration.
Thank you. Senator Kennedy.